Hey guys, just before episode 34 starts, I know you guys have been waiting for a Berserk Team Talk episode for a while now. We did record this about 2 weeks back. I've been going through all of the audio and everything. A lot of stuff was screwed up. OBS did not record properly, so it took me a while to get everything in the right order. Only problem being, there will be a lot of times in this episode where the video will either freeze or the frame rate will drop horribly, but the audio should be in the correct place. Just a warning before, just wanted to let you guys know that's what's going on. I've changed the OBS settings, so hopefully this won't happen again. I know it hasn't happened the other episodes, so this was just a one-off. I'm like, really? Coming back to this? Well, enjoy the show. They're just literally imprisoned in that match because he would not kill me. He would not kill me. He wanted me to play 100 meta coolers. I comboed them all off just so I can get a 130k combo. And then he's just another turn, and then mills himself out for fun.
And then then floodgates you and pass. Floodgate and pass.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is going on?
I'm stuck with one card in my hand the whole time. I'm just like, yeah, no, let's keep going. And then I'm just like, I just want to find the one card that I can play it, swing, take a life, and just kill myself. Cause I've been stuck at one life for 5 turns.
I saw that.
But yeah, that was a good match. That's the most optimal meta cooler player right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Metacooler of mill deck then?
no, not at all. That was just that's what it was.
Chaos.
Yeah, he had, I think he counted 8 cards left in deck, and then he was just like, I have 1 drive in the drop. Oh, I got 2 more in my hand. I'm gonna combo them off. Draws 6 cards. Draws 1 off his hit unison, and then plays another hit unison to draw another one to mill himself out. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, it was bananas.
I'm like, what a way to go. But
What a time to be alive.
Are you
It's been
good,
so
Jay?
long. It's been so long that since we recorded that the whole diaper wall is gone.
That's you know what? Even before I just started recording, I was literally gonna mention that. 1, you got the hat, so that stayed consistent, so that's a good thing. But 2, where the fuck the diaper wall? Is your child fully grown now? 14 years old? Like, how long has this been? Like, that's when I got out of diapers.
Look, there's a couple boxes in the back.
No, she like shits and pisses so much that we took down that wall. Like it was like, like Berlin was burning. Like that's how fast that wall came down.
I thought it was just like what's propping up the webcam now. Like behind the webcam, it's just only diapers. But like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, the webcam is sitting a little higher than last time. I don't know what's going on. I'm just fucking with you, Matt. Come on.
Is it? You see them watching Final Fantasy VII theory videos with Maximilian, dude.
Well, I just rebought it now that it's on Steam and it was on sale, so I'm gonna get to that fucking sometime. I don't know. I need to see this intergrade stuff. That's all I got.
Yuffie.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome everyone to Berserk Team Talk number 34. I know we've been on a little hiatus. We'll have to blame Carl for that. He's been in prison for killing those 35 people outside of that Walmart. So we've had to, get Saul Goodman and a couple of lawyers to, cover our asses. But yeah, with that being said, we got a special guest here right over there where I'm pointing. We got Egman there.
you point to the exact opposite corner where I'm at from my point of view.
See,
so
from me, it's just perfect. It's right over there. Yeah. But yeah, we haven't had a talk in a while, so we're just gonna go on what's the state of set 17 right now. This is we've been playing set 17 for a couple of weeks now. Eggman and anyone else who likes to play Untap has been playing for it a lot longer. So we thought it'd be a great perspective to get from him. Do you want to carry it off right away? I know you probably got a lot to say about set 17 and where I know you got your little Turles deck that you've been hyping up, and I know that definitely is something where nobody was seeing something like that be resurrected.
Yeah, and in general, I think it's a really fun set where there are a lot of kind of pieces to bring back old sets, and in general, I mean, we have like at the past couple sets we've had like at best like a meta deck come out of it, so I don't feel like the newest sets have been super impactful, and they've been kind of just these really kind of neat archetypes that they still have to like bow down to King Piccolo and Gogeta Xeno. So those obviously got hit by the ban list. And I think the only thing that we're really missing right now, and it's everyone knows it, is that we don't really have a lot of events to prove what we think we know to a lot of this thing. A lot of people know, or, think they know what's good, and they've been testing it, but there've been not a lot of ways to have proof of that, which I think is the only short end.
Oh, 100% with that, where events nowhere to be seen. I know some more regionals have been announced. I know with Canada as well, Jay, they made it official, right? The Anime North, that it's now a regional going on there.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Okay, not to interrupt, but yeah, they just didn't put that on the original announcement, right? That you'd get regional invites, right? Okay, cool. Because I remember someone like, hey, wait a minute.
yeah, so
I mean, I like PAX, but like,
because you got to get an entry pass.
Yeah.
So originally it was just the old stuff that they're trying to get rid of in terms of pricing, and it wasn't supposed to be regionals. And then I guess they switched over from there.
Okay. I mean, I think that's fine. We've, and I mean, not to say that there's not any regionals, but because there have been, and there is one this weekend. One, I think in Philadelphia. I don't remember the convention offhand, but there are those, and I think the only thing is that people don't. I don't like convention tournaments personally, and only because they are the additional cost to get in, and additionally it is usually trickier to navigate the venue and everything else. And not that they're bad, and I think they're good for the game. I personally don't do a lot of them, so I'd rather just fly out to it's their own individual event kind of thing.
I think it's really a big, like a shell shock too, of just going from having 2 to 3 online events every month to just not having any. But
Yeah.
But I guess if you think about it, like the season, the 2 years we had before COVID happened, it was kind of like that too, where like how it is now, where there weren't a whole lot of events and they're all in person. So
Yeah.
I think it's just getting back to normal lifestyle, right?
And so I know that they're trying to kind of ramp that up with that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to see. I don't know. I'm just going to say we're going to see more events and be optimistic about it. So that's my stance for right now.
Yeah, do you think it's just like Chris had mentioned, the fact that online, the ability to organize a tournament online just happens to be like logistically maybe a little bit easier?
Yeah, and I think I don't know. I personally I love online events, especially as someone who likes to do commentary a lot more right now. It is infinitely more easy to just show up like this, PJ pants on too. You guys can't even tell. And I'll just go through all the matches. It's easier for viewers to watch. It's easier to say, okay, well, the first match was just an aggro blowout that ended in 20 minutes. And instead of having 30 minutes of dead air, I'll go to table 2 and see what's going on there, right? And so there's more games, there's more coverage, and by and large, it is easier for people to get into these events and play in them, which I think is there's already a lot of barriers for card games, so making one a little bit easier, I think, is kind of nice.
It also does kind of let you settle that whole rivalry between East and West Coast. You never really knew who the best was until Nats, and then the West Coast always won. I think that player diversity really is what sets online events apart.
Yeah, and I think it's to a point where when they first came out, a lot of people were very opposed, and I understand why. And I understand that a lot of people take this game seriously, including myself, including all you guys, obviously, and they want to be in a spot where your time and money is respected, and you don't have a bad experience, right? And I understand that point of it. But I also don't understand, and it's probably just a couple people being persnickety about it, but like, oh well, if you top a 200-person online event, that's cool. But did you see that I got top 8 at a 64-player in-person event? Like, come on, that's the prize or something like that. And I really appreciate what online events have done for card games, for all the ones I play, Dragon Ball Super, Digimon, etc. And I don't see as much kind of drawback to it as when they first came out, and that's making me really happy. I hope they keep around, and I'm surprised that they've kind of fallen off for Dragon Ball Super.
No, even with that being said, like how you said East Coast and West Coast, it's nice to see like some of the events that we play on like weeklies. Like as we were saying before the call, there was a fellow from Malaysia, and I know there's a handful from the UK that play, where it's just other regions that until recently, with obviously Worlds happening, like that never happened before.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's nice seeing something where it's just like, oh, it's a completely different region. What the hell do they think is a good deck? And what's that? Which a lot of it, there's a lot of crossover and similarities, but there's a lot of tech that isn't there. Like I still got throttled by that Tapion Unison from someone from the UK. I was playing the yellow Zamasu deck when it first came out, and negate the skills and what was it? Put it under this card or something. I was like, oh, okay, great. Indestructible doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, it does not.
For 2 energy, it's gone. Okay, see ya.
Jeez. Oh, yeah. I think in general too. And I don't normally kind of make tier lists, and normally the reason is, and I saw it with one I made recently where I put something in a low tier, and someone's like, I was really looking forward to this deck, and now I don't know if I want to play this game anymore. I'm like, that's not what I want to do, and I want to more encourage people to try new decks instead of say, here are the best ones, accept it kind of thing. But in the same vein, Dragon Ball Super has been out for quite a bit. There are a lot of leaders. There are a lot of Gokus in this game. There's probably like almost 500 Gokus individually in this game, and so it's really to a point where you can really individualize your experience with this card game, which I think is really, really fun. And not to talk about a non-Bandai card game, but My Hero Academia kind of has a similar format where you choose a leader to represent you, right? And people just love these characters, and they'll be like, I will do my best to do that. And people can still do that with Dragon Ball Super, and I think that's a really fun experience.
No, that's the big thing.
But when you
too.
make a tier list and you don't put the one leader that they like, you're like, oh, where is it? Did you forget about set 2 Hirudegarn, or not set 2, whatever. Like
set 4.
How dare you leave my tier 2 leader off the gambit? Like, what do you think you are? Like
dislike.
Yeah. Which is still interaction on YouTube, so it still gets seen. But
thank you for the click.
Yeah, thank you for the click.
People aren't gonna like that comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just how it is sometimes. But
I think with the whole COVID thing, because we went from in-person events to no events during COVID because everything got canceled. Yeah. Then we had events almost every month to now going back in person, and Bandai trying to figure out what's enough, because when we were pre-COVID, you didn't have regionals every month.
Yeah.
And I think people got spoiled by the whole COVID thing about having, regionals twice a month or once a month or whatever, looking forward to it. I think they're trying to find a balance, and I think people were upset because of they had, regionals every month. How come we can't have it anymore in person? And then looking at the different regions, right? Like, I'm sure Carta Magica worked really hard to get us the regionals at Anime North. They said there's something coming up for Canada again in September. But I think they're trying to figure out. I think in person they can't do it every month compared to what they did online. But I think they're trying to find a happy medium for everybody.
For sure, and not to. I play, I'm playing Digimon. I'm going to try out One Piece if that's okay to say on this Dragon Ball Super Chat.
No,
no,
you're gonna get hung in the gallows.
It's okay because I own a store now and I support everything.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is my first and last team talk with you guys. No, but card games are a business, right? Bandai makes the card game because they want to make money. I hope that's. I mean, they love the IP, they love the community. Don't get me wrong, but it's a business, right? They have numbers they have to hit, and I do understand from a point, and I don't know if you guys would like to hear this, but San Jose had an in-person event at the beginning of May, right? It's California. A lot of people live in California. It did not cap. It hit like 200 people in the same region where a couple years ago. It's like the largest regional they ever had, like 500 plus people, right? It went to less than half of that. Meanwhile, we had three this past Sunday, we had 3 events coming up in July 2nd, 9th, and 16th. They are 512 player caps for Digimon. Guess how long it took for those to sell out, if you guys don't know. If you know already.
Really quick.
4 days.
Less than 30 minutes. All of them are capped out. That's
Those are
1,500.
events?
Yeah, they're webcam events. So
Oh,
I will say that. But to the point where like Digimon, if you do not put a phone timer 5 minutes before the signups goes on for their online events, you are not getting in. And if you do, you might get in. They are incredibly competitive. And so when you're a company like Bandai, and I have no idea, this is just me postulating now, but if you have these events that are cheaper to run, that you don't have to book a venue for, you can sell out in 10 minutes with 500 players, where people are asking to double the cap because they can't get in. And then you have some Dragon Ball Super events, which people love and have a good time with, but they can't reach their cap up into the event. You can see why there would be a bit of a priority to make sure that the Digimon events are taken care of, or why those would be the ones that you can have a safer return on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, there's the known fact that Bandai owns the Digimon IP
Yes. Yeah.
entirely, so they really
have
have
to-
the ability to do whatever they want.
Yes,
it.
and they have to borrow from, and I don't know, like who know. We're all speculating here today, right? But obviously Bandai or Dragon Ball has a new movie out, right? Toei's very protective of Dragon Ball because it's an icon, right? They have a new movie coming out in August, and probably half you guys watching this have already seen it because it's online. I have not personally, but maybe people watching YouTube.
I was gonna say, all the spoilers, people, they know they'll get shot. I fucking hate spoilers.
I agree with that.
That's why I watched it, because I didn't want to get it spoiled.
Yeah.
Even with the spoilers, it didn't ruin the movie for me. So go in with that.
And so I think, because we have the Zenkai boost, that set is getting delayed now, which is for me fine, because if we have the same amount of events between sets anyways, that's fine, I guess. People won't be tired of it, but I wonder if there is something additional that's going on that's saying, Toei's wants to restrict how many events we have, or what our presence is, or if they're trying to shift away. But at the same time, I don't know. I think a time when there's a new Dragon Ball Super product, there's a movie coming out, it's a really big time for people to be like, oh, I forgot about Dragon Ball. I forgot how much I love Goku. Oh, there's a card game to it. Of course, I want to play Goku in card form. So I think there's a high capacity of, if this next set is good with a cool new mechanic and the movie's good and brings people into it, there's that potential for a new boost of players.
A Zenkai boost specifically.
Yeah. Zenkai boost, nice.
Yeah, that's wild. So, like, do you think in terms of like, I guess like the remedy for increasing the engagement for participation in tournaments, does it have to do with like online? Like that seems to be like the common denominator, right? Like like for like having like these 3 events sell out all 3 of them in a row. Like I'm trying to find like the common thread, or like what's the part that I'm missing from like Dragon Ball versus Digimon.
Well, I'm wondering if the Dragon Ball community, when they started doing online tournaments, people were saying it doesn't count. I'm not sure if it's the same kind of thing in Digimon, where people are like, it doesn't count.
That's true. You have the window into both worlds here, because for this, there's a lot of bitching. That's all I know in the Dragon Ball community. There is a lot of bitching.
I try to. We'll see. We're nursing a healthy Guinness right here today, so we'll see how spicy I get. But yeah, if you are self-employed, every day is a Friday. But
chug.
No way, no, not yet. But yeah, I 100%. I strictly remember, because if I don't like this time, it was 2 years ago. The whole etiquette was new. No one knew what to do. Core would post an event just randomly Thursday, 2 p.m. Oh, we have a regional, a 64-player cap. Join if you want to. And if you weren't on Facebook during that like 30 minutes, then it'd be filled up, and then you wouldn't have the shot. And these are for promos that weren't going to be released in any other capacity, including like, remember that Meta Cooler Unison that everyone thought was going to be the best Unison in the entire game, and that kind of stuff, right? And so I think it comes but yeah, and then a lot of people are saying, oh well, they don't count, and I think again the etiquette wasn't there where it wasn't you didn't know what to look out for people who are being mischievous or less than honest on their card playing, and so it was easy to dismiss. But Digimon came out in December or of November of 2020, which means that they had not existed in a pre-COVID world. So all of their events had to be webcam on basis. So they grew up in an environment where webcam's fine. And I would say in the nicest way, Dragon Ball Super is more complicated than Digimon, which isn't a dig at it, but it is a game that is easier to play, and so it's if you can't read your opponent's cards verbatim, you're fine. There's a lot more kind of keywords and just there's not as much unique effects like there are in Dragon Ball Super. So it kind of grew up with that. People accepted it, but I think it took a lot of I don't know. There's a bit of elitism with Dragon Ball Super, for better or for worse. I'd say a lot of spots, and I can see that being discouraging for people trying to get into the game, and it's rough to see sometimes.
I think
Definitely.
I would also say Dragon Ball has definitely hit a big collector's market, which I feel has kind of taken a lot from the players. Like, I'm sure, like when you look at Dragon Ball sales, how well like Realm of Gods was, not as much of an indication of the
That's
game
all
popularity.
it's Vegeta's popularity.
Yeah.
God Rare
So-
Vegeta.
So I don't know if maybe Bandai is thinking, they would start going more like the Pokemon route where, they're okay having a smaller community of players while having a larger community of collectors, and gearing. I feel like a big thing with the events that I've noticed is they're always having logistical errors, especially with webcam events and shipping price support ahead of time, enough in advance to where they don't have to worry about the store misusing it. And so I feel like that's caused probably a lot of anxiety in shipping. Is just problems that they have getting it there on time.
Yeah, and I not to give more slack to someone who doesn't deserve it, but I know obviously shipping in general is not as good as it was 2 years ago, right? And including international. So I know there's always that disconnect. And of course, if you just show up to the event and you just get the packs when you sign in, that's obviously a lot easier for you. But you got to think about the room and board and gas to get there too, right? So I think there's always compromises for it, and I kind of this isn't a great segue, but the same thing happened. This happened with Dragon Ball Super events, and this happens with Digimon's too. Like obviously people want to play, but you have to. I'm gonna guess. Let's say 10%. That might be high or low. 10% of the people who sign up for these events are like, well, I spent $30. So I can get shipped $60 worth of cards in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like they show up for 3 rounds and they get their prize and then they drop, right? Which is fine. I understand. It's an investment and that's fine. But it does inflate the numbers in the sense that there's not really 500 people playing to get first. There's maybe 450 or 400 or so. These are made up numbers. I have literally no idea, but there's a percentage.
There's a graph behind it. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, turn the basic green screen so you can put whatever you want.
So all events aside, though, what are your set 17? Do you think it's going to age well going into set 18? In terms of meta viability.
So my big thing with this set is that it's done a lot of fun and cool things. I wish when they started using the empower keyword, this is the set that they did it with. There were a lot of, I think, cool cards that took advantage of that. And I don't know if they were worried that it was going to be too powerful, so they made it bad for the first couple ones. But this is a really cool, good unison set. And if this is the last one of the series, it kind of it's a little lackluster in the fact this is as good as they're gonna get, right? Is that there's not kind of new kind of mechanics. We didn't get a multicolor one, which I was kind of banking on for a little bit.
We'll get that one. There'll be an invoker one. Come on,
Yeah, sure.
We've still got overwhelmed and
Yeah.
better and better Overrealm characters, and
Mm-hmm.
that's Overrealm was a long time ago. So I'm just saying,
Yeah. No, and I don't mean it, but like, and obviously we still have like multicolor stuff because we had the Infinite Unity set in block and stuff, but it I don't know. I wanted them to get a little bit crazier with it, especially when you're in like a mid set like this, when it's not like when they had set 15. Set 15 did nothing, right? But it's because it was the set right before the end of the competitive season, right? So people would still buy the cards, test the cards, play the set. Like they didn't want to release something that they knew was going to be broken right before the biggest event of the year, right? And so now that we're like in the summer, halfway through the year, they can do some crazier things, and I think they do. I think like spaceships are really fun. I like that idea of like having like you just pile up into the spaceship and you get to play them underneath. Like it's really thematic, and I really like the like when you're able to kind of have themes intermingled with card games. I think that's really fun.
That's
Yeah,
the
I think
biggest
that
thing with Dragon Ball, right? Is that themes, like you said with leaders earlier, that's what drives everyone to this game. That's where it's just like, oh, I like this character. Even the most dog shit leaders being set 15 Goku and Vegeta, they still were on theme with Goku. You're doing the training arc basically with your whole deck, which those things, even though a lot of them aren't great, they're at least fun to play and fun to kind of go through the whole motions with that.
And that's why I still like Wish Deck so much, because it's a really cool idea. Like, oh, if you got to summon Shenron, you got to get the pieces together, and I think that's is really, really interesting.
Chris, what were you saying before there?
basically what you said. I don't think I've ever played a card game that fits theme, a card mechanics to themes as well as Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell that certain developers play card games, and then the other developers don't, and they just really love the anime, so they put all their time in. So.
Eggman, what's the best leader and archetype for this new set that you've tested?
You're just gonna hit me with that straight up.
You know what's funny?
No.
I was gonna transition into that, but you beat me to it.
Oh yeah.
List, right?
Or everyone after this, pick one. Think of one right now. Eggman will go first. We're putting him on the spot.
Yeah, there's no strictly based off tournament results. I think Cooler is, in the very least, it is the most straightforward powerful. There's obviously variation plays, but it's like, oh, just put all these guys in the deck and then choose your other couple cards and play well, right? That's what I think. And I like Gamma. I think Gamma has been slowly, people have been understanding how to play the deck and how to build it. It just kind of has like a really unique kind of deck restriction. So you have to play around that. You have to know just what your ratio is going to be. I think people are getting the limits of that instead of being super safe or super greedy. And I guess that's two.
That was already one extra.
Cooler was his answer for sure.
Cooler's my answer, but if I was to play one right now, it'd be Gamma. That's a set 17 leader, mind you.
That
hot take.
Go. Shoot it. Were you gonna do a hot take, or you were saying that was a hot take? Because I'm in the boat with Cooler. Because Cooler, I've played it, and Cooler is, I think it's close to be. That's the closest green has been to Snapped in a long time. It's fun. It is fun, and I've seen people play it Control. I think aggro's the way to go, because you have all these bodies that some are coming out for free, some are coming out for one energy, and you're empowering the markers over, and bada bing, you got a 20k Frieza, they're dropping a card, you're playing a Cooler for one, putting a Unison back in, making them drop cards. Just like, they can't keep up with it, and especially with certain floodgates like Nimbus, Riposte, where battle cards or non-Unison cards can attack unless you rest. They don't matter. And
they don't matter.
That's what I see a lot of people coming into chat and saying that there needs to be more Unison defense against kind of decks like that, where it's just certain cards, unless you got Dormant. Dormant's the only thing where you're just or Topo, or you're the other traditional 2-drop floodgates, right? But it's just wow, if those get counterplayed, I'm not doing nothing to this deck.
That golden Frieza, man.
Yeah,
that's the best. That is the best green staple card across the board that it's had for a long time.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with that with like the old Star Deck Green Frieza, the that one. It's because it can give it crit too, so you just casually have a 35k double strike, dual attack, triple strike crit. Like,
Jeez.
if you're already hand controlling your opponent, they have 4 cards in hand. Like, oh, it doesn't matter. I have 6 cards in life. I can take some damage. It's like there's about 6 damage of crit coming in this turn, so I hope you you have the
Like
pieces you need.
PKMA reimagined.
It is. It's jankier, obviously, and not as consistent, but
You're playing with Pod in that one too, right? I think
Yeah.
I watched you play
Yes.
with Pod. So your draw engine is still there too. So it's just pretty bonkers.
yeah, it's not consistent all the time though. But when it goes off, your opponent feels really bad, so it's fun.
It feels bad.
Yeah.
Best kind of decks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other half of us are on the Gamma train. I think Gamma is by far, like, over a long term, is the best leader out of the set. I do think though, however, when the TPs and then the new champion pack cards become more accessible, that this leader is going to be much better than
Okay.
it's going to like a
that
sleeper.
was my when you were thinking of putting up the card. It's like, is it Rildo? I tested him out early, so I probably need to go back to him. But he's got some cool lines, like for sure. He's not as I don't know. When he first came out, he was bad. He was bad. Like he had gadgets and stuff, but that was it. Like it was neat, but
I haven't tested it yet, but I feel like because there's interaction with him in the new TP Yellow Baby that you can play that for free. Tap 1 to play the Janemba Secret Rare from your hand for 1 energy, and then use combo attack Janemba to bounce it back to your hand.
Yeah.
Play it again.
Yeah.
So like 40k offering every turn for like a net 0 seems strong, but
yeah. That I don't know. That Janemba needs to probably go. It's been abused too many times. Even with like the just the 3-drop Agent of Destruction promo, like it does some silly things.
I have like 100 of them foil that I bought for like 10 cents like a year ago. So hopefully they peak up before it gets banned.
Yeah, the last deck I made with Cell before it was banned was an AOD version of it, and it was just the same thing. Well, the combo attack Janemba lets me take life, and the Cell super rare that doesn't have a home anymore lets me take life. Just swarm the board, get some 3-drop Janemba offerings out for free. It just feels good, but it's gone, dead.
R.I.P.
What about you, Josh? What's your thought? Best leader.
I mean, you guys literally called out the best ones. I think Rildo, because I experienced what Rildo could do. Gamma, that was
there's no repeats though, so sorry. You have to choose Red Ribbon Blue.
Commander
Damn.
Red.
I mean,
Commander Red. Yeah.
I'm very impressed by Dripku and how well it does, even without being able to combo their unisons like Cooler does. It's a deck that surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was thinking, Erebito card games TV, whatever. This is your shout out. Unisons did come up, but yeah, no, I was very impressed on how well the Gohan is for a finisher and how easy it is to get out in the deck. So that's my pick. Technically, very impressed with the deck.
I really like that Gohan a lot. He is super good.
So what's that? It's 2 Gamma, 2 Cooler.
Jay is gonna
And
be Gamma
Rildo?
for sure.
Jay's pick is Sin Shenron on
Yeah,
set 10.
Jay, he's just like, wait, we're not talking about Sin Shenron. I've been faking this whole Gamma shit.
Whoa.
I don't even want to play this dumb deck. It's blue. Let me just go put myself to sleep and everyone else with yellow.
You remember me opening a set 10? It's like, what blue cards am I getting? None. Okay.
That's true. That was what, 2 baby unisons, 2 baby apes, and I bought them both off you. I'm just like, I need to make this baby deck.
It's like, what do I build? Nothing? Okay, great. But I built Dark Brawly, Sin,
Sin again.
and the other decks that were part of set 10. We had them all built that one night, and we just all played different set 10 decks.
Was
baby
baby set 10? I thought baby was set 11.
Baby was 11.
Yeah,
11,
okay.
yeah.
I thought so.
Okay, maybe it was 11.
I don't even know what the
Yeah.
hell is in 10. I think it was Trunks. Like the
Yeah, it's
flip life
Trunks
one that
and,
they
Zeno.
destroyed.
No,
yeah,
it was
the
Zamasu, who lets you. That
yeah.
one was good for a minute, and then it's probably the Trunks, which is like the worst leader to come out when you can only play on untap and webcam.
Oh, that was horrible, and
Oh,
screwing that deck after too, where they're just like, no, you can't. We made these promos cards for that deck, but you know what? That's not how they work anymore.
Yeah,
this deck's too busted.
yeah,
Like-
yeah, exactly.
Too good, man. For Gamma, like, how much does it hurt though when you flip that when you ramp your card and it's like draw ape?
Yeah, you saw it.
It feels bad.
Yeah,
It feels so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just get rid of
I
it.
know, but it just feels bad to happen. And then I do miss God Sealing on your opponent's turn
Yeah,
quite a bit.
yeah, but I mean,
Go
even
ahead.
no, just even people know God ceilings exist long enough that people just play around that anyways. I think people have adapted to it enough.
I've had
so.
people playing Gamma, people playing around God Ceiling. I'm like, do you not understand how this leader works?
Actually, you could use God Sealing,
Yeah,
but it's only on the offensive.
That's right.
And our teammate does run God Sealing in Gamma, but more of an offensive thing.
Mm-hmm.
you could also use it defensively as long as you don't do the add 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think it's a good kind of strategy because, like, once you get to the point where you have to include half your deck as staples, it kind of stales, innovative deck building, I feel. And to be able to make a deck that's like, oh, you actually have a themed God Ceiling that's slightly worse, but you have all these more powerful cards, it feels a lot of pressure in deck building.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just like the threat of it, like looming, is always something I love. Like as someone I play blue quite a bit. The idea of like having it there, like even though people are gonna play around it, it's still like even if I don't have it in my hand, like we were just saying, right? Like my opponent thought they were playing around God Sealing and Gamma, even though it doesn't work there. The fact that they were trying to kind of just makes your opponent do something. It keeps them in check, I suppose. Like even the
fair.
threat of it always looming is something I like quite a bit. But I agree. I think the idea of opening up the floodgates, so to speak, to have like deck building be like kind of wacky and like I was playing against like Dripku and someone used Released from Evil on me and I was like, oh cool, I haven't seen you in forever. Like I love like that, like the idea of like they were utilizing a card that worked really well in that deck because your Unison is live turn 1. So I don't know, it just opens up like some fun things instead of like being like, okay, here comes Riposte, here comes Final Flash, here comes that stupid negate that makes my token. Here comes
I feel
Super
like
Saiyan.
as an
yeah.
end game, sorry, I feel like as an end game Unison set that it really did a good job of kind of making people go back and see, okay, what all these cards that interact with Unisons for, and definitely added some new, like, difference of status, right? The card that's going to get hit next turn most.
Yeah.
Like 50-cent card for the longest.
Hey,
And then fucking GT has made it
Yeah.
skyrocket.
That deck that doesn't top.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I was still running that shit in Jira, and Topo still got a bunch of markers on him. It still saved me a couple of games. But with that being said, with how like a lot of decks were becoming just shoving staple cards, especially blue and yellow and all that, and now we're getting to experience different stuff because you're locked into certain things with Gamma and other decks being you need so many cards for GT just to have it run efficiently. What decks, if any, have you guys stumbled upon that people were doing the reverse, where using an old leader but with the new cards and actually seeing if they can make anything work? I've made one personally that was absolute dog shit.
And I've been a bit with Turtles and it's a 6 turn 1. Power of the Groom.
Yeah, friend.
Energy, you get a card. Try to get rid of this guy before I drop Gohan next. Like you power again, just go off. So I think that's good. I think there's just some times where maybe I always go super value to where it's like turn 7. It's like, well, I haven't won, but I have 8 cards in my hand and you have 2 in your hand, so I'm winning. But if that card's like foo, I lose. So, but when it was still in the meta, so I think I need to probably still adjust it more. But I'm surprised that yellow, besides since Shenron hasn't been doing anything lately, which is really surprising to me.
Because Riposte has been the MVP for so long, and then just getting out your
Now that
unison.
everyone, their mother knows how to play around it.
Mm-hmm.
I think green, like cooler, those unisons definitely gave a lot of life to any deck that played unisons before to just give you an end game that is going to be insane unison. I was experimenting with the Majin Vegeta. It's like empower unison engines definitely allow for like more aggro strategies to be implemented.
Yeah, like Dark Broly used to be my best friend, and then Empowered Colon Frieza came out, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, Broly, I'm seeing other people now. It's just how it is. So
Dark Broly is still the best aggro deck this meta.
yeah.
Knows. It's like Dark Broly is my yellow Turtles. So.
I was gonna say the super like sneaky play that I guess it had already been out there, but I hadn't seen it that got played on me was from the GT with Chain Attack Trunks, and then going into Zeno, and so he, I forget what I was playing, but I was like taking life and like doing like well, not even just that, like just getting like, plays the Zeno. He's like, oh yeah, you shuffle all your cards that you just took from life into your deck, and then I have a hand still in my underneath my spaceship.
Sometimes to play in the future, you gotta play in the past. Like,
wow.
Oh,
someone write that down. Yeah.
I used that Goku to kill the Unison turn 1. That was great.
Which Goku?
Oh, the green SS3 Goku, yeah. That I unfortunately hyped up. When you turn 1, you can just be like, I have fights. Now, I know there's a very sensitive subject that we've avoided talking about, specifically for Egman's sake, but I think we should talk about it.
Is this a gotcha cam? Oh, okay. That guy.
Is this a gotcha? I swear I did not buy all those waifus on Genshin Impact.
Yeah. How much do you guys know? How deep do you?
I have this file behind me.
Yeah.
What went wrong with this? With Piccolo?
They wanted to make it fair, and he's fair, which means he's bad. Like, I think the biggest thing is that they slapped on a bunch of either they put the word green or yellow on too many cards where they could have just said Namekian. And I think that's fair. And I don't like, I'm not, for the record, I wanted the deck to be good and I tried it out and like they made it overly clunky for no good reason and I don't know why. So it's bad.
Have you played around with a blue-yellow build with all of the new TP, Salinols, and stuff? It seems.
Why would you ask me? You know I haven't.
I didn't know that actually.
Is the new TPs out yet?
They are, yeah.
They're on Untap, you know.
Yeah.
But it seems pretty good because like those 1-drops are similar to Trunks Jita in the sense that they play another 1-drop, and then for 1 energy on your turn 2, they go into like 35k 3-drops that have good effects. So maybe they just, I feel like they were trying to like create a general Piccolo deck that was good for legacy support, and in doing so, they didn't add any substance.
Yeah, and maybe there's a card they released in 2019 that if they made it not color restrictive, it would have been busted, or they would have been afraid of it, because there's a lot of random Piccolo Namekians hanging out there that no one knows about because they're all bad. But I think that I probably was like jokingly hard on the deck. I think it's fine. I think people will play it and try it out, but I think they'll realize that if they want to do what this deck is doing, unfortunately, probably other decks do it a little bit better and a little bit more consistently. So it's kind of a shame.
Bright side, we do have, what next set being full of Piccolo and Gohan support. So there is still a hope for it.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. If they support it long term, but I also got my hypes up like, oh, I love the Beerus and Champa from Realm of the Gods. I don't know why they didn't just have the extra cards start on the play. I don't know why you had to waste 1 or 2 energy to just go through all that razzmatazz for it. But I don't know. I don't know. I am not envious of having to be a card designer or a balancer because it is so easy to go either way, and it's a difficult balance that, without being insulting, you have to get pretty lucky to get it right. It's more of an art than a science, and so I think in general they do a really good job, and just the fact that there are a lot of decks and leaders that people can still play today, even though they were released a couple years ago, I think is amazing. And so, I mean, if you bought a Sin Shenron deck 2 years ago, you're probably still vibing with it if you wanted it to be, right? Like it's still chilling out.
And you
so.
switched like maybe 2 or 3 cards.
Play with my friends. I probably want to make one deck or two. And meanwhile, we're probably buying boxes at a time, and then we're seeing all the decks we can make. We're there just like, okay, well, I need to build this one deck. And then if it's bad in 2 months and they spent like $100 on making that deck, like where are they at now, right? So
this game definitely has a very thin line between casual and competitive. Just because like you can still build just about any deck, casual or competitively, if the leader is not worth anything. And it's all like those flex cards, like Riposte and Baby Hatch. The Secret Rare, I think, definitely is what sets apart casual players from competitive, right? Like, because you can have a really good blue Gamma deck and be playing Heroine's Lineage. You're almost always going to lose to the same deck with all the same cards except it has a big patch.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I will say, like, it's normally when I stream, I do untap, and which I do between like the peak hours of like lunch and dinner, which means it is a whole hodgepodge of different people with different skill levels. And so at least once every stream, I'll probably play someone who's in their first month of the game, and it is incredible. I can almost tell like by like turn one, like, okay, this is. I mean, sometimes by the time they put their leader down, I'm like, okay, slow down, breathe in, breathe out. But yeah, it's very tough, and I also like I'll be streaming, and obviously, like, you guys have to trust me when I say I'm a nice, patient guy. All right, don't take my word for it. But I'm streaming, and like these people are being like new, and they have like some hiccups with it, which is fine. But like sometimes it's just like I can't be stressed out. I can't like people are watching me do this. I can't like flip out or anything. Not that I would, but you have to be like, hey, you have to do this. Can you please reread your card? Can you like all these tiny stress things that we do just to get over things. I got to be like, all right, well, if you read your card, it's actually a plus 10k because you have these 2 cards here. Like, oh yeah, you're right. And it's very tricky for people to get into this card game. I think is the biggest thing, especially in an online format, because there's a lot of cards, there's a lot of legacy, there's a lot of effects, and a lot of them don't make sense all the time.
And a lot of interaction. I know a lot of games aren't as crazy interactive as Dragon Ball, where it's just like, counter winner 1, counter winner 2. You're going to negate my attack, you're going to combo on that. That's a lot of back and forth on both turns, where some games are solitaire. So
yeah, and kind of the thing I'm saying is that I am probably someone like a luckier pair to get up to. If you play, I'd say like the average Joe, people will be like, you're not worth my time, I'm not playing with you anymore, and just leave the game, right? Or they'll or worse from there. It gets worse from there. And I can only imagine like the anxiety of even just trying to get into Untap because you're afraid of being cyberbullied by people who already know how the card game works and everything else. So that's something I'm trying to encourage people to be understanding that if you love this game, you have to help people get into this game to help spread the game and keep it going.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of times like the vocal minority, right? Like in terms of like where you get you said like cyberbullied, right? And I think that is true. I think that people might say like man, like the Dragon Ball community can be like toxic at times, but I really think it's an echo chamber of a small subsect of folks. I think most folks are pretty like open, but you're right. I think their new players are very scared.
Yeah, which is bad.
Yeah, totally. And I guess like my my point is like I think like try to be like when I first started like Armando like I got paired up with him in that first really big like Canada tournament where there was like different pods
There's more than one.
There's a. I'm waiting for part 2, but the first inaugural tournament of the Canada, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I had only been playing the game at that junction for maybe 2 months, give or take. And I remember playing against him, and he was like, "Yo, man, it's okay. Like, you're doing fine." And he was like, just super encouraging. And I was like, I was playing Soul Striker, and I was like, I play Sensu Bean, like during like a non-battle interaction.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm like, I restand in energy, and I'd like give it to my lead. He's like, whoa, my dude, like, no, like, this is out. And he was like super cool about it. And if there is like a lesson to be taken away, like it is like, go and make like those dumb little mistakes like at locals, and you're with your friends and stuff like that. Like, hopefully you don't get roasted like online or like on the Facebook page or whatever, because I do see people ask questions like, read the rule book.
It's just that's a big one. It's like, okay, how fucking big is this thing? Like, it's just a little interaction with someone new, and it's just basically a fuck you, like just on the thing. It's just like, just help the poor guy out. Like, if this guy's saying, can I combo on the defense, like when they're attacking my unison, why can't I combo? Like, it's just a simple thing. It's a weird interaction. It only works with those kind of cards. Just they don't get a defensive step.
And you can do both, right? You could say like you can say to like answer the question. Here's like the answer. That it is like relatively complicated, but also here's a resource you can use like for like other like frequently asked questions, instead of like, because that just scares away the next wave of people that want to play.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. And I will say, like, there's the flip side where someone asks a simple question, and then like 20 people say, yes, you're right. But like everyone has to like chime in and be like, well, just so you know, I also say yes, that is how it works. Like, like it's like, oh yes, of course. Well, I know this ruling.
So I have an interesting question for you.
All right.
Segue.
Sure.
So let's assume we're going to Zenkai base. We know that there's new mechanic.
Oh, this is a simple question. This is hypothetical already. My goodness. All right.
Do you feel that we have enough keyword skills? Because that's a big entry level, right? Is having people price keyword skills.
Yeah.
Do you feel we have enough keyword skills in the game where going into the next set, they can really just focus on, Zenkai being the new mechanic for the core, and really just kind of revisiting all these keyword gimmicks that they've created over the last 4 years, to allow new players to get in the game without, consistently increasing that barrier level of entry?
I think the best way to do it is to just make a really, really good starter deck. I think Starter Deck Cell was fantastic.
Yep.
I think, and I don't know why it's like the last Unison Warrior set one, because it's a very good one that people could have, like, the other two Ultimate decks weren't really Unison themed, so it's kind of weird that they're in the block. But at least the Toa one, I don't remember what the other one was.
I literally think it was just Toa and Cell. Out of like ultimate decks, and I think
the
other
decks,
starter deck, we had Vegeta and Black Mass Hand Reboot, I think, was considered expert deck or whatever, the one where it's an extra $5 to get a pack and it's a little bit harder to use. But the Vegeta was one that actually was brought up in stream where people were just like, that's a good place to start to understand Unison stuff, which I think it is. It's a relatively simple, it's a single color deck, go nuts. And the Cell one, I was saying, like, that one's like a good one. It's a little weird. Like, you're putting stuff under your leader, whatever, but it's not like a hard deck. You're just hand control, turn 5, you win. That's just...
Yeah, I think so. And I don't... By the way, I saw, like, the anniversary box is coming out in, like, October, right? Something weird like that. Like, it's like they shifted it by 6 months. I don't know. But, yeah, like, I even think, like, for people who wanted to get into the game, like, you could get, like, 2 of the anniversaries. It was like the SS4 Bardock, right? That was another from that.
I think pretty easy deck to get off, because you don't really need to worry about color too much until later on in the game.
And so I think probably one of the most intense mechanics about this game is choosing which cards to charge, right? Like, that is probably like one of the biggest decision points in this game. And so if you have a deck that eliminates that, like even like set 2 like Vegito, where like, oh, all my Gokus are every color, so don't even worry about it. And it's Vegito, everyone loves Vegito, so I think it's really just going to depend on what this first product is, and if it's something where you can just buy one or two and then you can build a deck and play with it. I think that's the mark of success and how to get people into the game.
Yeah, I think the point I was getting at was more on having to memorize keyword skills, because they seem to really love using the word gimmick and
Yeah.
like having gimmick every box. If you feel that was a good thing.
I think it's. I wish they had a better track record, and to the point where sometimes they make one set on it and they're like, we're never gonna make this ever again. Like the villainous and heroic, that was one, or like the infinite Saiyan rares. Like I think they were cool, and like kind of shiny sometimes depending on the card, but I don't think they should make one just for the heck of making it, and I don't think they've done that for a while. I think most of the keywords they've had kind of has like I will say when Empower first came out, it wasn't really good. Like no one used it, and then now they're like, okay, please use Empower, and you're like, okay, cool, we'll do it. And
Right.
so I think that kind of goes for it, and it's just going to really depend on what the Zenkai boost is, I guess. If it's easy, if it's complicated, or something in between. If you can make a deck that just focuses on Zenkai and kind of puts the rest of the mechanics away, I think introducing something new like that. But if you're just trying to put it on top of everything, that could make it, one more brick to the wall of, the barrier of entry, I guess.
Hopefully it is like that, where there is some kind of starter deck or whatever, where it's pretty just clear cut. This is what it is. We're not really messing with unisons in this deck. We are messing with the Zenkai stuff, and this is how you're going to learn this new thing. And it's got 4 beginners on it, so it should be pretty easy, right? But
and it's like not one of those like expansion sets that has unisons, but it's technically in the Infinite Unity, so you can't use it for Unison Warrior Cup events.
Yeah, that's those ones are always great.
You mean I can't play Vegeta?
But I think it's a good. We went a little longer than we said we always fucking do that. But I think it's a good segment here to let you tell the people what's going on with your content, what's going on with Twitch, YouTube, whatever else as well.
Sure. So I am doing it full time, at least for the summer, taking a bit of a chance on that, and it's been honestly going super well. I've been having a lot of fun, and so mostly I've been doing Dragon Ball Super and Digimon. I like both games equally, so don't try to. Digimon's been having more events though, whether you like it or not. So those are easier to make content videos for. But definitely have been focusing on live streaming, testing stuff out. I do a lot of giveaways. Like I have just even next to me right now, just 8 packs that I need to mail out later today, or probably tomorrow is late, but I really am passionate about this community. I like getting people into it, and it's just been a lot of fun. And I love card games. And this summer too, I should be at Anime North. I should be at San Diego Comic-Con. I should be at Gen Con. All of them first for me, especially as I lived in Kansas for a very long time, which when you guys were having the West Coast, East Coast debate, I'm just like, hey, maybe having an event, an 8-hour drive to Texas, perhaps, to see 1 or 2 people from each coast. And but now I'm firmly in Arizona, which is why I look very sweaty right now as well. But being nearer to a coast, it doesn't really matter to me. It definitely, there's a lot more vibe, and it's really cool to see a lot more energy around that kind of stuff. It's been really, really fun. So that's really what I'm doing. Dragon Ball Super, Digimon. We're gonna try One Piece. We're gonna see if that's any good. That's coming out. I don't know if maybe the Dragon Ball Super and Digimon players can come together and bag on that game collectively instead of fighting each other. So we'll see if that unites people or not.
I'm down. I'm down.
Did you drop?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Did you drop Master Duel?
Yeah. I liked it. And I just, people are really set in their ways in that community. It was fantastic to have an online client to play against with. I really enjoyed that. And I was a Hearthstone streamer for about 2 years before I did physical card games again. And that was really nice. And compared to, again, I love Untap. I've probably been one of their longest standing patrons, because I've been patronize. Like I've been a patron for it for almost 5 years now, and because I've got I did a check today. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw my stream. Guess how many decks I have on Untap right now. What do you guys?
Have you deleted any? Have you deleted any?
Deleted none. Never.
Have
Why
you
would I do that?
Have you like when you remake a leader, do you
clones?
change it or do you just have like 2 of the same leader taking up 2 deck slots?
Oh baby, there's tons
Okay.
of cells in there.
400
So much cell search.
Smack the top of it. This baby can fit so many cells.
I'm going 135.
Okay.
Way more, I'd say. I'd say 450.
Okay. Any other guesses?
Yeah, I don't think more than 500. I'm
Okay.
thinking
600.
in 400s.
500
800.
and 800.
600.
600.
Well, what's the limit? Is there a limit or no?
No, he's a Patreon. There's no limit.
There's no limit. Wow.
You guys have. It's in between some of your guesses, so
I'm gonna say 250.
all right. It's at 390.
Jesus.
Oh, 450.
And I went down through it. And it's like, oh, there's Mecha Frieza. There's the old boy.
You said
What was your
400,
oldest-
Matt?
What was your old deck on Untap?
The oldest deck was a Goku, which it was my first YouTube video. If you guys want to feel better about your content creation and like bag on me, it is a very mediocre video about a very mediocre deck, which I still love. But yeah, that's probably my oldest deck it is my oldest deck. It's the GT, the one that searched Bulma off the top 10 when there's only like 2 Bulmas in the game. And one of them was a promo. So, but yeah, I've obviously been playing this game for a long time. Here, let's see if this works out. If I twiddly green screen.
There's a lot more Bulmas now.
I don't think he's coming back there, fellas. Ooh.
There's a lot of cards back there too. That again, I had to move from Arizona from Kansas, which is not a simple flight. So, there's more still. There we go. That's that boy right there.
Whoa, we had the same Street Fighter cabinet.
Yeah. That's has more games in it though. I got to put a Raspberry Pi back there.
Did you? Excellent.
He's just like,
Yes.
you know what? Fuck you. It's better than yours. Okay, get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, it's the same, is it?
Yeah, you
Oh.
think I put the stock version in my room? No
How
way.
silly! How silly of me. Forgiveness, please.
That's
Yeah, close enough.
Eggman. So as a frequent viewer of your content, actually got your package in today.
oh nice.
This guy's
and
just doxing himself.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
Thank
So
goodness I have a PO box.
send all of
I
your,
got this whole thing out.
all the Digimon players, send all your hate mail
Yeah,
about Dragon Ball to that address, and vice versa. Dragon Ball players, Digimon hate mail to that address.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna open it on camera here.
Okay.
Real fast.
Oh jeez. Oh,
That's
this is the real nerves.
Wow, you sent me the whole damn pack. Jeez.
Oh,
That's
so
amazing.
okay, yeah. Well, the postage
Great
system
job.
is in the United States. It's if you have 1 ounce, which a pack of cards is annoyingly 1.1 ounces. So, which I've tried to sneak 1 stamp on things and they've sent it back to me. But for Canada, it's up to 2 ounces. So I just send you the whole pack because it's the same price for me either way. But
Wow. And
Um,
you actually sent me my favorite card in the whole set that I didn't pull.
oh
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
drive-by.
Yeah.
My
As,
fa-
beauty.
my
I don't get a lot of SPRs, but that is one of my favorites.
And I pulled that for one of your giveaways. So as
Yes,
as someone that does enter, you do pull some really cool stuff. I've gotten like a repost from you and etc.
Yeah.
So
For real, and this is okay. I don't want to keep talking about it, but yeah, I've really it started in 2020 with unfortunately Digimon for you guys, but Digimon released their first box. No, Kansas had got a case, and no one else was playing it, so I bought 6 boxes, and then everyone's like, "Oh, boxes are worth twice MSRP right now." I'm like, "Oh shoot, well, okay," and people were wanting to play Digimon and they just literally could not find or afford boxes. So I'm like, you know what? I've got extras. Let's just give them away. I want people to get into this game. I want people to be excited. And that's what I did. And, and it's just been like I still want that to happen. So every time there's a set, I buy a full box, and then I give away every pack from that box. So I've given away secret rares for Digimon and a lot of stuff for Dragon Ball Super. And I don't do like I don't weigh it, or I don't be here's the I don't buy a case and then once I get the 2 boxes of secret rares, give away the other boxes. So I've been keeping up for 2 years, so I've probably given away close to 300, 400 packs since COVID, essentially. So yeah, it's been really, really good for the post office, at least, keeping them alive.
Keeping Untap alive. Keeping
about Digimon, there is a new set out as of tomorrow. Digital Hazard, right?
Yes, correct. If you guys want to get into the game, and or if you want to upset a lot of traditional Digimon players, there's a deck that costs $20. It does not play like a Digimon deck. It plays more like a Dragon Ball Super deck, and people hate playing against it. So it's
oh my god, are you playing?
What's the deck name?
D-Reaper. If you go to my channel, it's in the link in the description. You will find the.
Good, reminding me to do things.
Yeah.
For the people that want to get into Digimon, what starter deck do they need to buy to build that deck?
There's the deck, the D-Reaper deck is like $20. If you buy like a box of the newest set, which is probably MSRP for $70, and it's like a themed booster, so it's probably going to go down to 50 or 40 pretty quickly. You can do that. Additionally, if you want something else, there's a Imperial Dramon, the blue-green starter deck. If you buy 2 of those, that's pretty much a competent deck. So that's moderately meta viable. I recommend that.
And if you want Digimon stuff, go to game3.ca. Thank you.
Oh, that's sorry.
That's the only reason why he's here. That's
my index card.
Bed.
Forgot. Yeah.
Jay, you've said 40 words this entire video, and 3 of them were plugs for the shop.
And the rest have been muted coughs. I've seen every time you go muted. I can Photoshop some stuff.
The hidden diaper wall. It's really stinking up there.
But
COVID after effects.
Yeah.
But are there any final questions? It seems like Matt's about to open his hat mouth.
So I got a question for Egman. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup?
I mean, I'm a Leafs boy, so I gotta say Leafs.
Yeah,
so.
that's my dude.
Yeah. I want to enjoy the Phoenix Coyotes, but I also don't want to go to a college rink. So like,
I love that they're like they haven't been paying their bills, and like the management of like that of the ownership of Coyotes is like, no, we're very, very diligent in paying our bills and etc. Then it's like, oh yeah, now you have to play at a rink that can only house, I don't know, 3,000 people.
Yeah, 3,000 people are like, we still won't fill it.
and they're not allowed to put their logo at center ice. That's my favorite stipulation.
No, it's very well. It's funny too, because I was from Kansas, and I think, does everyone know? Oh, thank you also for the egg dice. But I think everyone here knows that I'm actually Canadian, right? I'm just hiding in the United States.
That's the only reason why you're here. That's
yes, exactly.
That's why I'm asking the hockey question.
Yeah.
Do not come to Arizona. You'll all melt. Like, it's bad. But
I'm here right now, and I'm dying in this summer heat. I couldn't imagine going any more south. I honestly think I might move to the North Pole.
Well, there was a heat wave in the Midwest, and I was in Arizona. It's just like, oh man, it's 100 degrees out. I'm like, man, it's 115. It's just how weak. But the thing is that when I moved here, Arizona Coyotes, I'm like, finally I'll be in a city with a hockey team, and they're like, yeah, we might move. I'm like, oh, come on.
To Kansas.
Yeah, to Kansas. Yeah, like exactly. That was one of the bidders. I'm like, oh please, I would.
At least the hockey games are only like $10, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
because no one's there,
and you can watch a real team play like Colorado.
Good lord, my dude. My good lord. You're acting like a real Digimon player right now, Jay, and I don't care for it. That's why I'm the least popular member of Team Berserk, because, well, you hear me talk. Yeah, exactly. Right at the bottom. I'm gonna ask a real question now before we wrap up.
Maybe I was like, fuck these guys, dude. I was in for half an hour.
I didn't study for this. You guys are like,
and it could be something that's not real yet, but which leader nudie or non, no, just nudie. Which nudie leader is your favorite? So if you go to tcgmetals.com right now, there's an option that's for adult art only, and it's fantastic. I have one over there. I put my money where my mouth is. Which nude
You put that in your
leader would you
mouth?
get? Oh yeah. Yeah. That's part of our Patreon.
Jace put
so
something in his mouth.
there's a paywall for that content. But which nude leader would be best? It could be male or female or whatever. Today,
Well, first of all, what happens with Cell? Do you just like put less clothes? Like he's pretty nude as it is. You just like take off his jock strap. Or
you can see inside the gape of his tail.
Oh my god!
Man,
don't
okay.
say gape of his tail ever again.
I can answer for him because it's gonna be Chilai.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a faker. Man, I just normally just use regular card art, but when I used to make my thumbnails, I would just like look at an anime scene, right, and just be like, boom, easy. Man, when you gotta have safe search when you're looking for Chilai, though. I learned that one the hard way. There's not a lot of. Oh man, it's like, oh come on, please, I'm just trying to. Fine, I'll open the safe. You know the what is it, the incognito later, but just for this one, I need a safe one. So.
Like, a metal Greymon. Oh my god.
The only thing I wanted to say too was Rip Aspira. We're gonna miss him, and I think you're gonna do a great job of filling, that content gap that we're losing with him. So
yeah, I know. It's I still talk to George like every other day, so I think he is doing some fun, exciting things, and I think Dragon Ball is something that's near and dear to him, and I would not be surprised if he came back. But in a time when like My Hero is having an event like every other week or so, and Dragon Ball is having one like every other month, I understand like why the priority shift. So
well, that's one you gotta have safe search off on too. Is My Hero. I got sent fucking boxes from some store. I search up Deku and Bakugo, and the second one is just them making out, and I'm just like, well, I got to put this in the video now.
Man, that is.
Well, you should shave your head so you can join the cool guys.
No, I put too much product in this. The background does not help it, but I am a frequent hair dyer, so I'll be bald when I'm 40. Don't get me wrong. Like it's destroying my hair, but right now I'll be fine. So
fine.
And this is an ad for Rogaine, our sponsor for today.
Yeah.
Get your bottle at the link in the description that I'll forget to put in. But yeah. Thanks for stopping by. That was definitely a nice way to reboot the Team Talks and Team Talk number 87 or whatever the hell I made up the number.
34, like the rule.
See, you remembered. You remembered.
Oh wow!
Wow. Okay.
That's Deku and Bakugo right there, guys. Please search that up. It's just a card game ruling, okay?
Yeah.
It's in the rule book. 34. Yeah, but seriously, I need my Krillin nudie metal leader, says Matt. I'll wrap it up there.
What are you doing? Literally. What's behind that gaping tail? You're the worst one.
I know. That's why.